So you're ready for a big change. You're thinking about moving across the country and having a new life, a new location, and a new home in a place you've never lived before. And I know, because you're here, that Oklahoma City is on your possibilities list. But there's a few other places you're considering as well. I'm Natalie Bratton with RE/MAX First, and today I'm going to help you narrow it down a bit by discussing Oklahoma City versus Denver, Colorado. Hey everybody, I'm Natalie Bratton with RE/MAX First in Oklahoma City, and welcome to my channel. If you'll subscribe to this channel, click the bell, then you will get notified every time I post a video. And those videos are about Oklahoma City metropolitan area, things to do here, neighborhoods, and of course, real estate. So if you end up moving to this area and you need help getting a home, I'm your girl. So, Oklahoma City versus Denver, Colorado. A lot of you are considering moving to either place. There are pros and cons to both places. And you know, I also discovered that there's actually quite a few similarities. Now, I am an Oklahoma City expert. I am not a Denver expert. Everything I know is from visiting there, researching online, and asking friends who live there. So if you have firsthand knowledge of living in Denver and what it's like, feel free to add to the discussion on my YouTube comments. As long as you're polite, you are welcome to give us all the insight you can on Oklahoma City and Denver, Colorado. Okay, let's get started. Let's start with some similarities. So both Oklahoma City and Denver, we were part of westward expansion, and both places were developed as cow towns and places for the train to stop. And it was about getting goods from one end of the country to the other. Oklahoma City, went through Indian Territory, and Denver was right before you go through the mountains. And so both were major spots for herding your cattle and for getting goods onto trains. So neither were developed as cosmopolitan, amazing big cities like New York City or Chicago. However, both have just grown and exploded over the last 30 years. Denver really started developing, bringing in big business. Denver really started developing ahead of Oklahoma City, and Denver is still ahead of Oklahoma City. Denver itself now has over 730,000 people in Denver. The suburbs have also really exploded. So Oklahoma City has grown by 100,000 people. We have about 650,000 people living in Oklahoma City. And then for the entire metropolitan area, 1.5 million people. So the population density here is a bit less because geographically Oklahoma City is very large. But you gotta know that in the urban areas, it's pretty dense. If you don't want to be in the dense area, you're going to spread out closer to the suburbs. Now let's talk about the weather. Okay, well, this one seems obvious. If you know anything about Denver, Colorado, you know that it is the mile-high city. It is in the mountains, the Rocky Mountains, and then Oklahoma City, we are not. We are 1197 feet above sea level. Elevation is the biggest difference, and so it's colder in Denver than it is in Oklahoma City. But I was surprised about one thing in particular. I always brag about how Oklahoma City has a lot of sunshine. We have 231 days on average of sunshine per year. Denver has just as much. Denver is sunny. If I had to live in Denver where it's colder, at least it's going to be sunny. So that impressed me. Oklahoma City has more rain, but then Denver's going to have a lot more snow. And because it's colder there, the snow lasts longer. That's part of the thing, is you get a lot more snow. And where in Oklahoma City, it's going to melt after 2 or 3 days. Denver, it's going to stay on the ground all winter. You're gonna have a lot more snow and it stays there. So colder temperatures, drier air in Denver, where Oklahoma City is quite humid. When I go to Denver, I need a lot of lotion and my nose bleeds. So I have to prepare for those things. So Oklahoma City, because we have humid air and we have more rain, we have more vegetation. It's less arid, you know, the landscaping and trees and all that. There's a bit more diversity in the vegetation, which also means more allergies. So not to say that there's not glorious aspen trees in Colorado. There's a lot of beauty there, but your tropical plants and things can grow better in Oklahoma City than they can in Denver. Next, unemployment is quite a bit higher in Denver than it is here. 7.6% in Denver versus 4.4% in Oklahoma City. In Oklahoma City, we have 20 universities, and in Denver there are 12. 12 is really good, but we really, I think every city I've ever compared to Oklahoma City is Oklahoma City has more universities. So if you are looking to go to school, or you have kids that you're hoping will stay close to home when they go to college, Oklahoma City has 20 universities to choose from. Okay, but lifestyle and outdoor activities. So you think Denver has the up on this. Let's see. Denver is surrounded by the Rocky Mountains. It is gorgeous. There are lots of opportunities for outdoor activities like hiking, skiing, snowshoeing, lots of hiking and bike riding, and it seems like everybody at least drives an SUV or a Jeep or something where you could put your bike or your skis in the back. Lots of Subarus out there. But one thing you should know is that if you're moving to Denver and being able to walk places, walkability is not really real high. In fact, if you're going to go hike or if you're going to go hiking or skiing, most likely you're going to have to get in your car and drive to the places where you're going to do that. Likewise, Oklahoma City also has lots of hiking and trails and bike riding, and that's something that they've really worked on developing the last few years. And we're not as far along as Denver. Now, we don't have the mountains. Can't duplicate that. But there are a lot of great parks and walking trails and lots of places you can go outside of Oklahoma City if you want to have outdoor activity. Oklahoma City has water. So 14% of Oklahoma City is lakes. So while we don't have the mountains for you to look at when you're hiking, you can walk trails around lakes, where Denver is only 1.5% water. So if you want to view sparkling water in the sunshine, Oklahoma City has that over Denver. Another similarity is commuting. Most of Denver is commuters. Most people commute 20 minutes or so to work and back. Oklahoma City is the same way. Okay, so salaries in Denver. You're gonna make more money if you live in Denver than if you live in Oklahoma City. But the average is only $10,000 higher salary in Denver versus Oklahoma City. So is $10,000 worth it? Let's see. Cost of living in Denver is 28% above the national average, where Oklahoma City's cost of living is 15% below the national average. So 28% above for Denver, 15% below. Ouch, I knew Denver was expensive, but man, 28% above. And then housing costs. A cost of a home in Denver is 3 times the amount of a home in Oklahoma City. So for the cost of living, all around, Denver is basically higher than Oklahoma City, except for in healthcare. So I mentioned that salaries are $10,000 higher in Denver. However, the cost of living is so much there's so much difference that $10,000 only covers about half of that deficit. So my friends that live in Denver say it's beautiful, they love it, they love a lot of things about the lifestyle, but they definitely had to tighten their belts financially and make it work. So sales tax in Denver is 8.3%, Oklahoma City is 8.6%. The suburbs are generally a little bit higher for both places. Not a huge difference on sales tax. Income tax is 4.8% in Denver, it's 5% in Oklahoma City. And all right, can't talk about Denver and not talk about sports. So Denver has 4 professional sports teams. How many does Oklahoma City have? 1. But we are huge college sports fans, and Denver not so much. Both places can help you if you are addicted to watching and being involved in sports, just different kinds. So just some quick things. Denver's known for dry skin. Oklahoma City's known for high allergies. Denver's a great place to retire, but Oklahoma City is a better place to retire financially, and it is a better place for military veterans. People in Denver are supposed to be more playful and more active and healthier, and that is probably true. Oklahoma City, we're trying to be more active and more playful and healthier, but we're not there yet. Denver, higher population. Oklahoma City, on the way. Denver, higher cost of living, higher housing. You'll get more bang for your buck moving to Oklahoma City than you will for Denver. People love Denver because of the atmosphere and the mountains and just the big city feel that Denver has gotten. Oklahoma City, we're flatland. And so there's some differences there for you. So that's it. I hope that helped. If you have insider information on Denver or thoughts about moving to either Denver or Oklahoma City, if this video helped at all in confirming what you were already thinking about, please give me some comments in the YouTube comment section and let's have a little discussion about it. Come back next week and we'll talk some more about Oklahoma City real estate.